Tony Dungy from Football Night in America joining us on the program. When did the Bears just go south defensively here, Tony?
Well, it's been a slow process, and you're right. They have invested a lot of money on offense. It felt like they had to build around Jay Cutler, which you have to do, but it's just a combination of a lot of things. Charles Tillman being out, they haven't really replaced that pass rush from Julius Peppers. They thought they'd get it from Jared Allen. It hasn't really come yet. Losing Brian Urlacher, some of your leaders, that it just doesn't look like the same defensive unit at all.
Well, the Packers look good.
Packers have a dynamic offense. I thought the Clay Matthews move to inside linebacker, I thought that was really going to hurt him. He looked so natural last night. He's making plays sideline to sideline, making plays in the passing game, and they're still using him to rush the passer. That may be the thing that jumpstarts their defense and gets them going. I was just impressed all the way around.
You sold on Detroit?
We're going to find out in the next 2 weeks. We had a lot of teams that look good on paper and look good at home. We saw Pittsburgh look dynamic for the last 3 weeks and then go on the road, and they couldn't sustain it. Now, Detroit is playing great. Their defense is outstanding. Matthew Stafford is making those plays in the fourth quarter. But now you've got to go to Arizona and to New England and see if you can duplicate that energy on the road, and that's when we'll find out. But I tell you, their mindset is different. You can see it from the last couple of years. They get in those tight situations in the fourth quarter. They believe they're going to win.
You have Seattle winning 3 consecutive games. Seattle back?
Not yet. They're still not quite the dominant team that we're used to seeing on defense. Again, they're making plays, but now they've got to do it on the road. Let's see them take it to Kansas City, and we'll have a sense. If they win in Kansas City as hot as Kansas City's playing, then I'll say Seattle's back.
Can you be a run-first team in the NFL?
Yes, you can. You can win a lot of different ways, but everybody has to believe in what you do. And they were a run-first team last year, and they won. But it has to click with the big plays in the passing game, with the suffocating defense. It's got to be all there. And I think they're getting back to their identity. I think San Francisco is getting back to their identity a little bit.
Talking to Tony Dungy from Football Night in America. I know you experienced this. We were watching this prior to the show where Brock Osweiler, it's 41-10, and he wants to get in the game. He thinks he's going in the game. Peyton grabs his helmet and then runs back onto the field. Peyton, can you take Peyton out of a game?
Yes, you can. You certainly can, and that's never an issue. Now, he wants to play. All good players want to play. I'm sure Green Bay was going through the same thing with Aaron Rodgers and Nelson and those guys. When you're going hot like that, you want to stay in there. But whenever the coach says, hey, it's time, all those guys are going to do what the coach wants.
Yeah, but it looked like Peyton he shook him off. Like you could see Osweiler there picking up his helmet. I think he's calling home to say, I'm going in the game finally. And then Peyton runs onto the field, Tone.
Yeah, but I'm sure that went through John Fox. I can tell you, and they had a conversation, and I'm not sure how that goes, but believe me, Peyton Manning, if John Fox says, you're coming out, you're coming out. Now, they may have had a long discussion about it, and he maybe talked Fox into one more series, but I promise you he's going to do what the coach wants done.
If you're talking to Arizona Cardinal fans today, what are you telling them with Carson Palmer looks like done for the year?
Just what Aaron Rodgers said, relax and believe in your coach. I know Bruce Arians, and there's a couple of things about it. Bruce is a great quarterback coach. He's going to have Drew Stanton ready to go as well as he can play. And then secondly, they're a team that's built. They don't have to have tremendous quarterback play. They just have to have good quarterback play. They've got a talented receiver group. They've got a running game that can sustain them. Their defense is playing lights out. They're not going to have to win games 35-28. Drew Stanton is going to be fine. Now, would they be better off with Carson Palmer? Sure. But no one is going to panic in that Arizona locker room, and they're still going to be fine.
What do you expect from Mark Sanchez tonight?
I think Mark Sanchez is going to play well because, again, Chip Kelly, I've been around him enough to know that he's going to do what the quarterback does best. He's going to take the things out of the playbook that the quarterback doesn't do well. I saw him play with all different kind of quarterbacks at Oregon. He, played with Michael Vick. He's played with Nick Foles, who wasn't a runner and wasn't mobile. he's going to do what Sanchez does best, and I think with all that weaponry around him, he's going to play well also.
Does Chip Kelly need a star quarterback?
He doesn't. He needs a quarterback who can be the leader and doesn't turn the ball over. That's what he's most worried about. But it doesn't have to be a guy who does everything because, again, the offense is going to dictate so much. He's going to get the ball in the hands of guys who can make plays. He just needs a quarterback who'll run the game plan and make the plays that are available.
Would you want Adrian Peterson back if you're the Vikings?
Sure, I would. And they're at a position now at 4-5. I don't know that they can get to the playoffs, but you add Peterson to Teddy Bridgewater, that's going to help him. And I think in the locker room, Adrian's been a good guy. He's been a teammate that everybody likes. It's not like you've got a guy who nobody likes, and he got into a problem, so we don't want him back. I think the team definitely would want him back.
Yeah, but at what point, like, when would you, Tony Dungy, not want somebody around because of baggage? Like, what is too much baggage for you as a coach?
If they're not trying to change, Dan, if they're not trying to do the right thing, then you have a problem. But guys who are, if they make mistakes, but they're sincere and they're trying to improve and trying to change, and they'll get help when you try to help them, then you don't have a problem with it.
Safe travels as always. I'll talk to you next weekend.
All right, buddy. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tone.
See you.
Tony Dungy, Football Night in America.